Hi guys, the European Commission had probably the best response to Trump from a rhetorical point of view as we head into a trade war. Donald Trump and his administration have demonstrated nothing but contempt for Europeans and Europe. Agent Orange has made all sorts of outlandish claims, and his vice president has told barefaced lies about governments on the other side of the pond. So a member of the Commission had this to say when it came to responding to Trump.
Look, we have to be very strategic about our response here. And I repeat, we don't want to have to respond. But at the risk of sounding like my 3-year-old son, they started it.
Yes, they started it. Donald Trump started this. And, he's acting like a child, so you have to treat him like a child. Now, other leaders of countries decided to pander to Donald Trump. Treat him like a child and pander to him. The Irish government pandered to him. But that didn't work out very well because Trump went ahead and imposed a 25% tariff on pharmaceuticals. This is going to be extremely damaging to the Irish economy. Keir Starmer pandered to Donald Trump, invited him for a second state visit, something that no other leader has ever received. But Trump is, it seems at the time of the recording of this, going ahead and imposing a 25% tariff on the importation of cars, which is going to impact the UK as well. So the UK will not be exempt. Now this may change, but at the moment it seems to be the case. So pandering to Donald Trump doesn't work. Now the European Commission in the past has responded by imposing tariffs or non-tariff barriers on certain exports from the US and imports into the EU. And it would focus on damaging the reputation of politicians close to the administration. So in a sense, it would put the heat on those politicians because, for example, soybeans or whiskey would become more expensive when imported into the EU. This would damage that industry. And then the constituents would put pressure on their politicians, those politicians generally being Republicans, and then therefore those politicians would put pressure on Trump. But this time round, I think it's different because Donald Trump doesn't care about his politicians. He doesn't care about his political party. And I think the influence they have over him is extremely limited. That's the difference. So I don't know if a targeted response this time would work for the European Commission because we're not operating within normal parameters. Donald Trump is off the scale. He's beyond the pale. The politicians are no longer in control. Some of them may be able to put some pressure on him, but I think he doesn't care at this stage. He doesn't need their support. And they're going to suffer. They're going to lose votes if there are still elections. But Donald Trump does not care at this stage. Now, the European Commission should be going in the opposite direction. I think should be looking to other markets, should be reinforcing the internal market, the single market, making sure that, if we're having problems exporting to the US, well, then let's find other markets outside the US or strengthen the internal market. That must be the way forward because targeted reaction or responses to Trump's tariffs, I don't think is going to work. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think, and thanks for watching.